How's it going, guys? My name is Zach with the Movie Castle, and today we're going to be talking about Tales from the Darkside. This is Season 1, Episode 6, and this one's entitled Mookie and Pookie. This is from November 4th, 1984, and was directed by Timna Ranon, and stars Justine Bateman with a special appearance by Tippi Hedren, who you guys may remember from The Birds. The teleplay by Dan Kleinman, and the story was by Marc Fields and Dan Kleinman himself, and this is a computer episode. A computer episode from 1984. The 80s were an interesting time when computer technology was very much in flux, very much changing and building and becoming bigger, and it's interesting to see a story about computers from this time period. There are things that are very much of their time, the old giant computers with tiny monitors and, barely being able to do what you'd be able to do so easily now, but also perceptions of computers at that time. And there's a lot here that's very much of its day, but also very much ahead of its time. The basic story here, you get this pair of twins, and one of the twins dies, but before he dies, he writes a program to put his mind into the computer, and the other twin has to finish it to bring her brother back. The whole idea of putting your mind into the computer, how many stories have we seen do that in movies and TV? Several episodes of Black Mirror, Ghost in the Shell. Lots of stories have been about humans merging with computers, but this was 1984. This was a very early adapter of this kind of story, and in many ways very much ahead of its time. And it's an interesting note as to doing this trope that would be done so much later. This is really an early version of it, which is pretty interesting to see this done in the early 1980s. This is one that if they ever brought Tales from the Darkside back, I know they tried to with the CW and Joe Hill a little bit ago. If they ever succeeded in bringing the show back nowadays, I would really love to see, if they remade this episode, how different it would be. I would love to see a remake of this episode so we could see how our views on technology has changed. That would be really interesting. But overall, this is definitely an interesting time capsule episode to see what things were like and what they thought things would be like. And overall, it is very interesting. Without further ado, how about we go ahead and dive into the plot? I'm not going to be doing any major spoilers, but I do want to say my piece on a few of the plot points and make sure you guys have a basic understanding as to what this episode's about. We go ahead and dive in with the family playing Scrabble. You have a mom, a dad, and a sister. There's also a twin brother, but he's not at the table. More on him in a minute. They're playing Scrabble, and the girl, Pookie, puts down the word glitch. I said there's a few things about this that really show the 80s. Well, the parents see the word glitch and have no idea what it means. And they're like, "What's that word? You just made it up. I don't know about this." And her brother has to come in and defend her. And that's where we get to meet Mookie. Obviously, Mookie and Pookie aren't their real names, but they're really close, and these are the nicknames that the whole family calls them. But Mookie comes in to defend his sister, and he's on a radio. You see, Mookie isn't doing too well. He's sick and bedridden, but they want to include him in the game, and they have him on a radio from his bedroom over to the dining room table where everyone else is playing Scrabble. And eventually, after a little bit more of this, the sister will come up and talk to him for a little bit, and we see him there in his bed surrounded by a bunch of computer stuff, working on all that and talking to the family through the radio from upstairs to downstairs. The two talk, and you can see their friends, and you can see how much this is tearing Pookie apart. wanting her brother to be better. And the brother says, hey, I'm working on this program, but I'm worried I won't have enough time to finish it. He's worried that he's going to die before he finishes this mysterious program. And he goes, I'm leaving you this binder. It's full of how to program, what needs to be done, everything you need to know to finish this program. If I die is right here in this binder. And if I die before I finish the program for me. And of course Pookie goes, whoa, no. Don't talk like that. You're gonna be okay. You're gonna live. Don't be so mopey. It's gonna work out. Well, she goes down and talks to her parents, and within a few minutes, Mookie's dead. So it's good that he gave her those files and told her what he needed, because yeah, he was literally just a few minutes away. So anyway, after he's dead, she's grieving and looks at what she needs to do, and we were just getting into the summer, so for the whole summer, she's barricaded herself in Mookie's old room, surrounded by his computers, and learning from scratch how to code so that she can finish this program. And the parents are worried about her. She's become a recluse, she shut herself in, she's being very obsessive about this computer program, and they're of course worried. The dad is very worried and threatens to sell the computer multiple times, and I get saying, oh, the daughter's become reclusive, it's not good for her socially, but boy, is he upset at this computer right from the get-go. Although, I really wish he would learn, like, hey, your daughter's learning how to program at the height of programming. This is actually a very useful skill for her to have and would really open up a lot of pathways to her future. But the dad just goes, no, she's wasting time on that computer and doesn't really get it. Well, months and months go past, and she's getting closer to finishing the program when suddenly a box arrives at the door, and the mom takes it up to her and goes, what is this? Did you order something? And the daughter goes, oh, not me. Mookie must have done it. And she opens it up, and it's a big speech synthesizer. You know, it makes the computer talk. And it is kind of funny. Again, another one of those time capsule moments. Nowadays, any piece of technology can talk. Back in the day, if you wanted a computer to talk, you needed this big piece of hardware like that big. That is pretty interesting. But of course, the mother goes, wait a minute. Did you say your brother, who is dead, ordered you this piece of hardware? And she goes, well, he's not exactly dead. He put himself into the computer, and I just have to finish bringing him back. And now, of course, that she says that, the parents are very much worried about her, and the dad is really wanting to get rid of that computer, so she has a limited amount of time to finish the program and prove to her parents that her twin brother really is in the computer. And it becomes this race against time. The father's only got so much patience left. You gotta talk him into a few more days. I can prove it to you, just give me time. And overall, it is a pretty cool scene. I feel the episode does end a little bit abruptly, but it ends in a really interesting place. And overall, as a good time capsule of a computer story from 1984, it really is interesting. And they did get some things right, they did get some things ahead of their time, and they did do a story that we would see lots of other people use elements of, you know? It's using the trope before it became a trope, and I mean, sure, you can probably point to a lot of other books that did this as well, but to do this on mainstream TV back in the early 80s is really interesting, and it's one of those that, you know, it's just an interesting idea that really does stick with you for a long time. An early 80s computer episode, such a good time capsule. Really, I did like it. And it does, I won't spoil it, but it does end on a really interesting final shot there. And I really did like this episode, and I definitely would recommend it. I'll get to more Tales from the Dark Side again pretty soon, But to everybody who's watched so far, thank you for watching. To everyone who's liked and subscribed, thank you. You really are helping the channel out. I'll leave a relevant playlist on the bottom. If you guys want to see more, you can click there and see more. This should be my Tales from the Darkside playlist. I've talked about every episode leading up to this one, plus a few that I did a little early, you know, like the Christmas ones I had to get done around Christmas. So if you want to see me talk about more episodes of Darkside, you can click that playlist there. Anyway, have a good day. I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Relevant playlist on the bottom. Have a good day now.